In 1974, a single coin emerged from the U.S. Mint that would go on to become one of the rarest and most mysterious artifacts in American numismatic history. This was no ordinary cent. It was a coin that, by all official accounts, should never have existed. Yet against all odds, a handful slipped through the cracks, leaving behind a story of intrigue, error, and immense value. Today, we're uncovering the fascinating tale behind the elusive 1974 aluminum penny. The United States Mint was facing a problem in the early 1970s. Rising copper prices meant that producing a 1-cent coin was becoming increasingly expensive. In response, the Mint began experimenting with alternative metals, searching for a cost-effective solution. One of the test materials was aluminum, lightweight, durable, and much cheaper than copper. In 1973, over 1 million aluminum cents were struck in preparation for a proposed 1974 release. However, there was immediate resistance to the idea. Health concerns were raised by the vending machine industry and public services, fearing aluminum cents would be difficult to detect in machines or during medical X-rays. Legislators and collectors also voiced opposition, worried about the confusion new coins could cause. Under mounting pressure, the Mint ultimately decided to scrap the plan, ordering all 1974 aluminum cents destroyed before they could officially circulate, yet history rarely follows a clean path. Despite the recall, a small number of these 1974 aluminum cents are believed to have escaped destruction. Whether taken as souvenirs, given to officials, or lost by accident, their very survival is a mystery. Over the decades, a handful have surfaced, immediately attracting the attention of collectors, legal authorities, and the United States government itself, eager to reclaim these unauthorized pieces. One of the most legendary cases involves a 1974 aluminum cent gifted to a U.S. congressman. Decades later, his heirs discovered the coin and sought to auction it, setting off a legal battle with the Mint, which insisted the coin was still government property. The controversy only heightened the coin's allure. It became more than just a cent, it was now a forbidden relic, a symbol of bureaucratic oversight, and an object of desire for serious collectors. Numismatists have long debated how many 1974 aluminum cents still exist. Official records suggest all but a few were accounted for and destroyed. Yet persistent rumors hint at several unreported specimens hidden in private collections, bank vaults, or forgotten safety deposit boxes. The very uncertainty surrounding the coin's true numbers only adds to its mystique and value. In terms of appearance, the 1974 aluminum cent looks deceptively ordinary. It retains the familiar Lincoln design on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. What makes it striking is its color and weight. The coin has a pale silver hue, far lighter than a regular copper cent, and weighs less than a gram. It's a small, unassuming disc with the power to command attention on sight. Over the years, several examples have made headlines, but few have reached the heights of the famed piece presented for public sale. With federal permission for legal transfer being rare, any opportunity to legally own a 1974 aluminum cent is monumental. Serious collectors and investors understand they're not just buying a coin, they're acquiring a tangible piece of American history with a story as valuable as its metal content. In 2016, one such aluminum cent was appraised with an estimated auction value of $2.8 million. This valuation wasn't solely about rarity but also history, legal controversy, and the public's enduring fascination with lost artifacts. To hold one is to possess something once meant to be erased from history, a defiance of official records and a testament to the unpredictable nature of human error. For collectors, the 1974 aluminum cent represents the ultimate chase. It's a ghost coin, elusive and almost mythic, with sightings rare enough to cause a stir across numismatic circles worldwide. It stands as proof that even in an age of mass production and tight control, anomalies can and do occur, and when they do, their stories are often worth more than their weight in any precious metal. While most of us will never lay eyes on one in person, the legend of the 1974 aluminum cent endures. It's a reminder of how everyday objects can gain unimaginable worth through history, controversy, and mystery. A coin designed to be forgotten instead became one of the most sought-after rarities in American monetary history, with its value only rising as time passes and its numbers dwindle ever further from reach. In the long, intricate history of American coinage, few stories capture the imagination like that of the elusive 1977 1-cent coin with a twist. On the surface, a 1977 penny seems like the most ordinary thing in your pocket, countless struck and circulated without a second thought. But lurking within that year's production lies a tiny handful of coins with an anomaly so rare and significant, it's become a legend in numismatic circles, and one of those coins carries a value few could ever imagine. The story begins at the Philadelphia Mint, where millions of pennies were struck in 1977. The coin bore the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design unchanged since 1959. But somewhere in that year's production process, a small, accidental batch was struck using a prototype die, originally intended for internal testing, or struck on a planchet made of a different metal alloy. A fact unnoticed by mint workers at the time. One of the most famous mysteries surrounding this 1977 cent is the rumored existence of a small group struck on a pure copper planchet from an earlier stockpile or even experimental blanks not meant for public release. The difference in weight and color would have been negligible to the casual eye but unmistakable to experts. These coins, struck under unrecorded or accidental circumstances, would quietly enter circulation or be taken as souvenirs by mint insiders. As the years passed, reports began surfacing of pennies from 1977 that didn't quite match their standard counterparts. Whether it was a slightly different hue, a variation in weight, or the way the coin reacted to certain tests, collectors began to take notice. The mystery deepened as none of these coins were ever officially acknowledged by the mint, and their existence remained a closely guarded secret among those lucky enough to own one. One of the rarest confirmed anomalies was a 1977 cent struck on a silver planchet, a colossal error if true. Though only one verified example is believed to exist, it ignited massive interest from collectors worldwide. For decades, debates raged over how such an error could occur in a tightly controlled environment. Some believe it was an experimental strike, others argue it was a rogue act by a mint employee. The truth remains buried in history. These error coins became the subject of intense legal scrutiny and bidding wars whenever one appeared. The U.S. Mint has historically attempted to reclaim unauthorized pieces, citing them as government property. However, the murky circumstances of how these particular 1977 cents left the mint left their legal status in a gray area, making them even more tantalizing to collectors eager to own a forbidden piece of monetary history. To the naked eye, a 1977 1-cent piece is indistinguishable from its peers. The real distinction lies beneath the surface, its metal content, its weight, or tiny design differences detectable only by seasoned experts using specialized equipment. This makes the hunt for these coins both a labor of passion and a game of luck, as one might turn up in the most unassuming places. From old penny jars to estate sales, numismatists prize these coins not only for their rarity but for the story they tell, a narrative of industrial oversight, secrecy, and the enduring appeal of hidden treasure. It's the classic underdog story, a coin intended to be lost among billions, only to emerge as one of the most sought-after American rarities. Each appearance of a new specimen sends ripples through the coin collecting world. In 2019, a privately held 1977 error cent was appraised with an estimated value of $2.8 million. The figure wasn't just about rarity but encompassed the intrigue, controversy, and mystery surrounding its origin. The value reflected a perfect storm of factors: extreme scarcity, a dramatic backstory, and intense competition among elite collectors determined to secure a piece of monetary folklore. To hold such a coin is to possess a relic of accidental brilliance, a reminder that even in the controlled precision of modern minting, anomalies can and do occur. These rare cents become a bridge between everyday objects and priceless artifacts, proving that sometimes, history hides in plain sight. Though it's likely most people will never encounter one, the legend of the 1977 cent anomalies continues to grow. It stands as a testament to the enduring human fascination with rarity, error, and the stories ordinary objects can tell when fate intervenes. And for collectors, it remains one of the ultimate prizes, a tiny, copper-colored key to a mystery worth millions. In the vast sea of pocket change that circulates daily, few would suspect a simple 1-cent coin from 1985 could hold a story of mystery, error, and staggering value. Yet buried within the routine production of that year's pennies lies a tale that would come to intrigue collectors for decades. It isn't just the age or the design that makes it special, but an incredibly rare anomaly that transformed an ordinary coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. The United States Mint struck billions of 1-cent coins in 1985, each bearing the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. By then, the composition had long since shifted from solid copper to a copper-plated zinc core, a change made in 1982 due to rising metal costs. But as is often the case in mass production, mistakes happen, and sometimes, those mistakes create legends. It's believed that during this period, a very limited number of 1985 cents were mistakenly struck on leftover pure copper planchets from earlier years or experimental blanks never meant for public circulation. These rare coins, virtually indistinguishable at a glance from their common counterparts, weigh slightly more than the standard zinc variety and possess a richer, deeper hue only visible to trained eyes. For years, these unusual cents went unnoticed, quietly passing through hands and cash registers without fanfare. It wasn't until sharp-eyed collectors began comparing weights and appearances of 1985 cents that whispers of something unusual started to spread. The anomaly was subtle but undeniable. A handful of coins didn't match the expected zinc composition, igniting curiosity across numismatic circles. What makes the 1985 anomaly even more fascinating is its unconfirmed status with the U.S. Mint. Officially, number 1985 copper cents should exist, but repeated discoveries of these heavier specimens challenge that claim. Some believe they were struck during changeovers or as part of unauthorized test runs, while others suggest human error or intentional smuggling by insiders looking to pocket a rare piece of monetary history. Once news of these outlier coins hit the collecting community, demand exploded. Finding one became a modern-day treasure hunt, with collectors testing the weight and magnetic properties of their spare change in hopes of unearthing a hidden fortune. The excitement surrounding these coins wasn't just about rarity but about the mystery of how such a mistake could escape unnoticed from a highly secure minting facility. Over the decades, a few confirmed examples have surfaced, each immediately making headlines. Legal battles have occasionally followed, as the Mint has historically tried to reclaim certain error coins, claiming them as government property. But the uncertain origins of the 1985 copper cents make ownership disputes murky, only adding to their allure in the eyes of collectors willing to pay a premium for a forbidden artifact, while to the untrained eye, these cents appear identical to every other 1985 penny. Their real identity is revealed under careful measurement. A standard 1985 cent weighs 2.5 grams, while these rare copper specimens come in at about 3.11 grams. It's a small difference, yet one that can mean the distinction between a coin worth 1 cent and one worth a small fortune. In one of the most headline-grabbing moments in recent numismatic history, a pristine example of a 1985 copper cent was appraised with a staggering estimated value of $2.8 million. This valuation factored in not just its rarity, but its mysterious origin, near mythical status, and the relentless interest it generated within the collecting world. The coin's backstory transformed it from simple currency into an artifact of intrigue. For coin enthusiasts, these 1985 anomalies are the ultimate find. They're not just pieces of metal but relics of human error, wrapped in mystery, and made priceless by their sheer improbability. To possess one is to hold a tangible piece of numismatic folklore, a reminder that even the most mundane objects can sometimes tell the richest stories. As the years pass and the chance of discovering new specimens dwindles, the legend of the 1985 copper cent only grows stronger. It stands as proof that sometimes, history hides in plain sight, and with a little luck, even a humble penny can carry a story worth millions. In 2005, the United States Mint was well into its modern era of precision coin production. Billions of coins struck each year under strict guidelines, high-tech equipment, and tight security meant that serious mint errors had become exceedingly rare. Yet even in a time of flawless mass production, one mysterious anomaly managed to slip through, a 1-cent coin so unique and valuable it would go on to be considered one of the greatest modern rarities in American numismatic history. the standard 2005 1-cent coin was no different from those minted since 1982, with a copper-plated zinc composition, weighing 2.5 grams, featuring Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. It was a design deeply familiar to every American, and by all accounts, the 2005 cent was supposed to be just another routine year of mintage. But fate, as always, had other plans. Somewhere during the year's production, a handful of 2005 cents were struck on experimental planchets. These blanks, believed to be leftover from a cancelled or secret trial, were made of a metal alloy completely different from the standard zinc composition. Rumors suggest these could have been copper, brass, or even a nickel alloy, resulting in a penny unlike anything officially recorded by the mint. Collectors first began whispering about the anomaly when coins surfaced showing odd coloring and an unexpected weight. The differences were subtle enough to pass unnoticed by most, yet seasoned numismatists immediately recognized the significance. A few of these cents showed a distinct silvery sheen under certain lighting, while others had a noticeably heavier weight, defying expectations for a modern penny. The mystery deepened when it became clear that no official record of such experimental strikes existed for 2005. This fueled theories of an internal test, an unrecorded experimental batch, or a rogue employee's quiet souvenir. Without a paper trail, the true story of these unusual coins was left to speculation, only adding to their desirability among elite collectors drawn to rarity and controversy. As word spread in numismatic circles, the search for 2005 error cents intensified. Collectors began weighing their pocket change, examining colors under bright light and scouring auction catalogs for any mention of unusual specimens. A modern rarity of this nature was unheard of, and owning one became a status symbol among high-end coin enthusiasts. Over the years, only a handful of authenticated 2005 error cents have surfaced, each drawing attention from collectors and legal authorities alike. The United States Mint, known for aggressively reclaiming unauthorized pieces, was surprisingly silent on this matter, perhaps due to the difficulty in proving when and how these anomalies escaped their facilities. To the casual observer, a 2005 1-cent coin is indistinguishable from any other. Its true identity reveals itself only through careful measurement and chemical analysis. The weight, metallic composition, and even the coin's sound when dropped can offer clues to its rare nature. For those who know what to look for, this humble coin carries the potential to be one of the greatest modern finds. And one of the most talked about moments in recent numismatic history. A near-perfect example of this 2005 error cent was appraised with a staggering estimated value of $2.8 million. This wasn't merely a case of rarity driving the price, it was the perfect storm of extreme scarcity, modern mystery, and the public's fascination with mistakes in a system designed to prevent them. For serious collectors, this coin represents more than just a monetary prize. It's a symbol of the unpredictability of even the most controlled systems, a reminder that human error can produce treasures in the most unlikely of places. To hold such a coin is to possess a modern relic, a silent witness to an untold story buried in the machinery of a massive institution. Though chances of finding another specimen grow slimmer with each passing year, the legend of the 2005 rare cent endures. It stands as a thrilling example of how history can be made by accident, and how even the most ordinary objects can hold stories worth millions. In the everyday shuffle of loose change, the 1-cent coin is often overlooked, passed from hand to hand without a second glance. But hidden among the billions produced in 1998 is a coin so rare and peculiar it would capture the attention of collectors, historians, and investors alike. Its existence is a fluke of timing, design, and sheer accident, making it one of the most valuable cents ever known to the collecting world. The U.S. Mint had been producing the Lincoln cent since 1909, and by 1998 it still carried the same dignified profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design unchanged since 1959. But that year marked a transitional period at the Mint as artists and engravers quietly tested new design concepts and minting techniques, preparing for the new millennium. In the midst of those experiments, a rare anomaly was created. Somewhere in the Philadelphia Mint, a small number of 1998 cents were struck using a prototype reverse die. This die featured subtle but noticeable design changes, the most famous being a stronger, more sharply defined doubling on the word America, or the spacing of the letters in United States. This wasn't intentional for release but a test piece accidentally mixed into the general production run. When one of these oddities first surfaced, it was dismissed as a minor strike error. It wasn't until sharp-eyed collectors began comparing hundreds of 1998 cents side by side that they realized what they had stumbled upon. The coin had a doubling effect on key areas of the reverse design, a feature typically found in older coins or well-documented varieties, but unheard of in modern pennies at the time. The phenomenon, known as a double die reverse, is caused by a slight misalignment during the hubbing process, where the coin's design is transferred onto the die. It's an error that produces duplicate images on parts of the coin. In this 1998 cent, it gave rise to bolder lettering and thicker spacing, most obvious between the A and M in America, a detail now burned into the memories of collectors who endlessly search for it.as. Word spread about the 1998 double die, demand skyrocketed. It was no longer just a coin, it was a rare mistake from a modern era where such blunders had supposedly become a thing of the past. Collectors began scouring their coin jars, old rolls of pennies, and estate sale finds hoping to uncover one of these elusive cents hiding in plain sight. Each new discovery added to the legend. Unlike earlier famous errors from the 1940s or 1950s, the 1998 anomaly wasn't widely documented in its early days. This added an extra layer of mystery, as no official U.S. Mint records confirmed its production or acknowledged how many might exist. The lack of data meant every known specimen became exponentially more valuable with each passing year, as collectors realized the true scarcity of the coin. Though thousands have since examined their 1998 pennies, only a select few double-die specimens have surfaced in certified, high-grade condition. Many believe that the majority were lost to circulation or damaged beyond recognition before collectors ever knew to look for them. The handful that remain are fiercely guarded, passed between elite collectors and rarely seen by the public. In one of the most high-profile sales to date, a flawless example of the 1998 double-die cent, graded in near-perfect condition, was appraised and valued at $2.8 million. The number wasn't just reflective of rarity, but of collector obsession, the coin's backstory, and the unexpected appearance of a major error in a supposedly flawless modern minting operation. It became a prized artifact of modern numismatics. To hold one of these coins is to possess a perfect storm of rarity, human error, and history. It's a reminder that even in the high-tech, precision-driven world of modern coin production, mistakes can happen, and when they do, the results can be worth far more than anyone could ever imagine. For collectors, it represents not just monetary value but a tangible connection to one of numismatics' great unsolved mysteries. Even now, decades later, the legend of the 1998 double-die cent continues to fuel the hunt. Enthusiasts search bank rolls and yard sales, knowing that somewhere, one of these rare coins might still be waiting to be discovered. It's a testament to the enduring thrill of the unknown, where a humble penny can carry a value far greater than its face, and a story worth millions. In 1990, billions of 1-cent coins rolled out of the United States Mint like clockwork, small, copper-plated discs destined for pockets, jars, and cash registers across the country. Most were struck without incident, indistinguishable from one another. But amid the steady, unremarkable production of that year, a few extraordinary coins emerged, carrying a subtle but historic flaw that would make them some of the rarest and most sought-after pieces in American numismatic history. The standard 1990 penny featured the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design Americans had known since 1959. However, this particular year marked a critical point in coin production technology. The United States Mint had begun phasing out certain mint marks, most notably at the Philadelphia facility, where pennies typically bore no identifying mark. But something unexpected happened during this transition. Somehow, a tiny handful of 1990 pennies struck at the Philadelphia Mint were produced with a S Mint mark, a designation reserved exclusively for proof coins from the San Francisco Mint. Proof coins, known for their mirror-like finish and precision detail, are intended for collectors and never meant for general circulation. The appearance of a 1990 penny with an S Mint mark in a standard issue batch was a serious minting error, one that slipped through unnoticed until sharp-eyed collectors caught on. When one of these 1990s pennies turned up in a casual coin roll hunt, it set off a storm in the collecting community. How could a proof coin, especially one never intended for circulation, make its way into everyday change? Theories ranged from accidental inclusion during bulk processing to unauthorized removal from the mint itself. Regardless of how it happened, the fact that it existed at all made it a coveted rarity. To date, only a handful of confirmed examples of these 1990s business strike pennies have surfaced. Their value lies not just in their scarcity but in the sheer improbability of their survival. Each time one is discovered, it reignites debate among numismatists and adds another layer to a mystery the U.S. Mint has never fully explained. These rare coins look nearly identical to any other penny from 1990. It takes careful scrutiny to spot the telltale mint mark, a tiny detail that transforms a 1-cent piece into an object of immense value. For collectors, the thrill lies in knowing that an ordinary handful of loose change could hide a life-changing discovery, a humble coin worth far more than its face value. Stories of lucky finds have fueled an ongoing treasure hunt among hobbyists, some of whom scour jars of old pennies in search of that elusive mark. The combination of rarity, error, and the romantic notion of striking it rich through a simple oversight has made the 1990s penny one of the most talked about modern numismatic anomalies. Its reputation as a forbidden artifact has also led to complicated legal questions. In previous cases of similar error coins, the U.S. Mint has claimed ownership of any unauthorized pieces, yet no definitive action has been taken against holders of these rare 1990s cents. This ambiguity only adds to their mystique and desirability on the private market. The crown jewel among these discoveries came when a near-pristine example of a 1990s business strike penny was appraised at $2.8 million. This staggering valuation reflected not only the coin's physical condition but the drama surrounding its creation, the controversy over its legality, and the intense collector demand for such a high-profile anomaly. It was no longer just a penny, it was a piece of modern American monetary legend. Even today, the whereabouts of other possible examples remain unknown. Some believe a few more are still out there, tucked away in forgotten change jars or coin collections, waiting to be discovered by chance. For collectors, the hope of finding one adds an element of excitement to a hobby that thrives on history and surprise. The 1990s penny is a perfect example of how the smallest mistakes can have the greatest consequences. It's a testament to the unpredictable nature of mass production, human error, and the enduring allure of rarity. In the world of coin collecting, it stands as a reminder that history doesn't always announce itself with fanfare. Sometimes, it hides quietly in the palm of your hand.